This is from Fox 2 Detroit.
Right now, we are halfway through Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and tragically, there have been several headlines in just the last few days that really remind us, all of us, of how prevalent this issue is, particularly when it comes to violence against women. Tonight, we're going to talk about several news stories over the last 7 days that might be really hard to hear, including a U.S. congressman's alleged sexual assaults of multiple women, a renewed discussion over consent, a former lieutenant governor taking the lives of his wife and his own, and a bombshell investigation by CNN exposing a worldwide ring of men who systemically target and abuse their own wives. And that investigation...
It has been a lot lately, huh?
Is the main reason we're talking about all of this tonight. My executive producer, Dylan Dahlberg, and I spoke about this at length. And even though this is going to be extremely disturbing and hard to talk about, tough for a lot of people to hear, it's an important story that really needs to be talked about. Millions of men from all over the world collaborating on ways to drug and abuse the people they swore vows to...
Okay, it wasn't millions. Again, it seems like a lot of people are really... It was millions of monthly views on the website the videos were uploaded to, which is not even remotely the same as millions of people being in the community of rapists, you know? That would be like somebody posts, there's like a pro-anorexia community on Twitter, therefore every single view that Twitter gets monthly is an individual person who's pro-anorexia or something.
Love and protect, and teaching each other how to do it. The fallout from this investigation spreading like wildfire on social media. So here to unpack some of this for us is Dr. Tracy Stulberg, a marriage and family therapist who has a lot of experience dealing with tragedies, just like the ones we're talking about tonight. Before we get into it, though, we thought it might be a little bit helpful to take this by the numbers and break down the hard truth to rape his wife. And 34% said they would rape someone if they knew they could get away. More and more people say it's all men until it's none of them, meaning until women can be sure they don't need to worry about being harmed, it's better to be safe than sorry. And so we thank you so much for joining us here.
They're fronting the Dworkin position here
today, Doctor, to unpack some of this.
Well, thank you for having me.
I know it was quite disturbing for you to even hear about this, but anyone who spends time online or in the news talking and listening about how to protect people during this important month would have heard about this Rape Academy. This is a really disturbing thing.
I'm dumb. What does no man mean? What they're saying is that a lot of women proceed through life assuming that every guy is a potential rapist until proven otherwise, which is true. Of course, you can't actually prove a person isn't. You can't prove a negative, so it's kind of an anxiety-ridden way of living.
Men telling other men how to hurt their own spouses. Unpack that for us for a moment.
Well, I was quite shocked. I mean, I thought I couldn't be more surprised since I work with survivors and offenders and family members dealing with many of these issues. But there was some kind of idea that this is okay. And it's not just the person who created this website, who maybe created it because they might make money.
Yeah,
but they're also
money, yeah.
But you're right. They have some serious mental health issues that obviously other people that are part of this website have as well. When I heard the numbers of people that had visited this, I thought, oh my goodness. Because I was trying to think, well, how many does that mean in a day? Or how many does that mean in a year? Where are these people coming from? And what's going to happen when these women get told that they were videotaped by the person who vowed to love, honor, respect them?
Well,
and so we
divorces,
take for a moment
that
supposed academy away for a second and talk about the underlying issue with spousal rape that people don't even consider. In fact, some of the stats...
To a lot of people, it's crazy, but like in a lot of the world today, and even like in America and Britain and so on, spousal rape wasn't even a thing. It was legal up until like pretty recent. Pretty recent.
Talked about, indicated the way some young men are growing up thinking what is and isn't acceptable. Consent can be given, consent can be taken away.
I'm just learning about
that
this.
for a moment.
So, consent, first of all, if you're going to give consent, it can't be obliterated by alcohol or drugs. You can't be sleeping. You need to be verbal.
Remember that the German chancellor voted against making spousal rape illegal in the 90s? Really? Merz? Did he vote against that? Hold on. It makes sense. He is Israeli.
Able
spiritually
to give consent. And if any time during a sex act either things get dicey or you're not wanting, you can take away consent, but it has to be respected. And we have plenty of people who say, well, no. I mean, if someone told me yes, because I checked and they said, you know, yeah, I'll have sex with you, but then they wanted to stop, no, that you can't do that. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And we're trying to teach our younger people this, but according to whatever survey that was, a lot of people don't get it. And it's not just them. I work with women that for years did not report to anyone, even family members, that they were being raped by their spouse because they weren't sure if it was...
Kind of, yes, but the CDU voted against it in part because it contained an amendment that made it impossible for women to retract their statements to the police and request for prosecution. Realistically, it's still a vote for rape because the men can intimidate their wives, but I think the distinction is reasonable to make. That's kind of weird, though. Why would they can't retract their statement to the police? Well, the reason why you would want them to not be able to retract their statement to the police is because the men would just bully their wives out of it, right? I don't know. It seems like meaningfully it's still the same. There's like some nuance there, but you know.
It's rape.
Well, and the myth here is that because you have a wedding ring on your hand and that you've made a vow with this person, they made a vow to you, that somehow that ensures some kind of a forever bond to be able to do whatever the heck you want. And you're saying, quite to the contrary, as someone who deals with victims all the time, that's just not true.
No.
You don't have right or an access to sex anytime you want.
No, it's not a get sex free card. You know,
There's something kind of, I don't know, naively charming about this totally earnest engagement with the concept of consent on Fox 2 Chicago. You know what I mean? It's like learning about it's like learning about something in elementary school. Oh, so you can give consent, but then later change your mind? Yes, you know, like okay, I don't know, it's whatever it takes for people to get it.
You have to get consent, and to think that we've raised our women in some ways to not know that difference also is very sad. You know, we've had some that say, well, you know, we didn't physically fight it, expected. Think that they're just going to have a drink and then not remember anything and wake up.
Odd Fox is doing this? Not really, no. It's Fox 2, they're a subsidiary. Oh, there was the CNN bit.
We've been messaging for months, this man and I.
I've just heard from my daughter. She's on her own in a house with 4 children.
Assault by penetration and drugging.
On the face of it, and certainly.
We messaged with multiple users across the US, the UK, France, Brazil, and beyond, who mostly communicated in English. I connected on Motherless with a user who was selling liquid sedative. Over Telegram, he told me he was running a business, shipping it worldwide.
Yeah, we saw those
A bottle
pictures.
cost $175.
He's just answered. There's no
To speak out, there are still countless roadblocks when it comes to reporting to police or bringing a legal case. Amanda Stanhope didn't know her partner had been abusing her for 5 years.
What were some of the physical signs?
I'd wake up on a towel that wasn't there when I went to bed.
Ish.
While survivors may not remember the videos being filmed, men in the Telegram groups we tracked are making money from them, selling clips and live streams for as little as $20.
Yeah, I'm not playing that audio. That's fine. Yes, definitely the CNN segment a little bit more harrowing than the, you know, PBS attitude that Fox 2 Chicago was taking towards the subject. Yeah, I'm good on that shit. I'm telling you, though, the Somnophiles could clean house in those circles, you know? How would they even know? That's a straight-up no from me, dog. Any numbers on how common this is percentage-wise? Rape? I don't know, pretty common. This specific kind? I don't know. Unfortunately, most U.S. states do not require an education on consent and sex ed. Please tell me this article has a map. What are zonodiles? Somnophiles. People who have a kink for one of the people in a sexual encounter being asleep. Let me guess, red states? Yeah, probably. Giving every state the ability to manage their own education was such a mistake.